In the early 2000s, I became a sheriff's deputy in a small rural town, where I'd grown up most of my life. I was quite young and immature, but I responded to many calls which, over time, taught me a lot about people and life. One call, though, deeply changed my life, and forever affected how I would look at the world. It all started around 8 p.m. when I received a call from my dispatcher, notifying me of an individual who was in distress. The caller was described as an elderly woman who lived alone and was concerned about aliens that were outside her window, trying to steal her cats. Being the closest one in the area, I took the call, preparing to deal with the issue. I received multiple calls similar to this one before, and they were usually a prank or a mentally ill individual who needed some help. I might have even laughed a bit at this as I drove to the scene, thinking of how silly it would be for aliens to fly across the galaxy only to break into someone's home to steal their cats. I arrived at the property sometime after 8 and slowly made my way onto a private gravel road which led to a large house a few hundred feet into the distance. It was this huge, secluded property with lots of grass and shrubs, but I could definitely make out a couple of lit windows on the second floor. As I made my way closer, I came upon a fence in the middle of the road that blocked my car, so I had to continue on foot. I walked for a minute or two, all the while scanning my surroundings for potential burglars, or so-called aliens, but nothing seemed out of the ordinary. As I continued, something strange started to happen to me. I began to feel this warm, tingling sensation emanating from my body, as if a pot of hot water were being steamed away from inside my chest. I also began to smell this heavy metallic odor, sort of like if old pennies were mixed with chlorine. I paused to catch my breath and to think about why I was feeling this way, when suddenly, this huge glowing object appeared from the backside of the house. I froze in shock, and every possible thought raced through my mind at once. The object ascended over the roof, where it silently hovered for a few seconds. And then it made its way to the front of the house, where it remained floating a couple of feet above the ground. It looked like an orange hockey puck that was stretched out vertically to make space for whatever might have been inside. At this point, I felt my throat starting to burn, and I began to cough. I immediately attempted to let the dispatcher know what I was seeing, but my radio was going crazy with static thumps and whatnot. Out of nowhere, I saw this bright flash, which caused my brain to feel like it was exploding. I woke up back in my patrol car, which was stuck at the front gate. I looked around wondering how the heck I got here. I felt extremely nauseous and stumbled out of my car in a daze. I was clearly just standing next to the house a second ago. I looked around for any signs of the object I'd seen, but it was as if it disappeared into thin air. I then noticed that my dispatcher was calling me on the radio, so I quickly responded. She inquired as to why I wasn't answering her for the past 20 minutes, which startled and confused me even more. I told her that I spoke with her only 2 minutes ago as I approached the house, but she insisted that we did not speak for almost half an hour. I couldn't remember anything after approaching the home, but when I talked to the elderly woman who lived there, she claimed that she saw me from her bedroom window, falling to the ground and being approached by these short, alien beings. She also claimed to have been abducted by them many times before, and to have been taken to a dimly lit room to be scanned. For days after the incident, I was told every possible explanation under the sun, and experienced strange looks to whoever I told it to. I've since realized not to involve it in my personal or professional life. I did, however, have a few nightmares about the whole encounter, scenes where these alien-looking beings were talking to me. But to this day, I'm not 100% sure what happened that night. All I know for a fact is that I am missing approximately 20 minutes of my time.